Let's talk about hair. For Black men, hair is part of our identity. It's a statement, but finding the right style can be a challenge, especially when most advice out there is geared towards folks who don't quite get our hair texture. That's where I come in. Today, I'm gonna break down how to choose hairstyles that not only look good, but also complement our unique features, like our thick throws and sharp jawline. We're talking foreheads, face shapes, and everything in between. Before we dive in though, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon because my future videos are gonna be all about looks, especially for Black folks. You don't wanna miss out on that. Let's get into the video. Forehead size. We all talk about face shapes a lot, but even more importantly than face shape is the forehead size. Basically, there are three main types: high, low, and medium. Your forehead shape can influence how your hairstyle looks. For example, if you have a high forehead, you might want to choose a style that covers a bit more to create a balanced look. High foreheads. People are low-key scared of big foreheads, but honestly, they're super attractive when paired with the right hairdo. Let me tell you what you can do to balance your forehead and give yourself a confident look. For guys with high foreheads, we want to add volume horizontally or maintain a hairstyle that falls downwards rather than upwards. So side parts are a great option as they can visually shorten your forehead. And then, textured haircuts add volume and dimension, drawing attention away from your forehead. My favorite are longer locks or fringes that can also help cover a high forehead and create a more proportional appearance. If you're gonna grow your hair out, you need to make sure your curls are defined. I recommend the Uncle Jimmy Curl Kicker Cream because it holds the curls for the whole day. Links in the description if you guys want to check it out. Low foreheads. If your forehead is on the smaller side, you want to accentuate it. Upward styled hair can help to draw attention to your forehead, while high fades create a contrast between the sides and top, making your forehead appear larger. Maintained afros are another great choice, adding height and volume to your hair. If you have a medium-sized forehead, then you're lucky because both hairstyles can suit you. Face shapes. Now, let's move on to face shapes, because this is the determining factor for your next hairstyle. Black men usually have naturally wider cheekbones or a more pronounced jawline. That's why it's important to look at your face as a whole and not just pick out individual features. You need to create facial harmony, and that's why you need to be particular about your hairdo. If you can't find your face shape, then you're probably a mix of two shapes. So focus on individual features for that. So let's break down some of the most common face shapes, what they look like, and what hairstyles would suit a certain shape. Oval. First one is oval. This is like the classic balanced face. It's longer than it is wide, with a rounded chin and forehead. I'm not gonna lie, the oval face shape is like the golden ticket of facial symmetry. It's versatile, it's balanced, and it can rock almost any hairstyle. So let's talk about the best styles for an oval face. First of all, we have the fade cuts. These are classics for a reason. They're clean, they're versatile, and they can highlight your facial features without being too overwhelming. Next up, taper fades. They're similar to the fade, but with more gradual transition from short to long. This can add a bit of texture and dimension to your look. If you're feeling a bit more adventurous, then the high top fade is a bold choice that can really make a statement. Just make sure you keep it well groomed. And finally, my favorite, curly hairstyles. If you got natural curls, embrace them. Let your curls flow free. Or try a defined look with a curl cream or gel. You can also go for medium length locks and braids. Round. Then we have the round face shape. This one is pretty self-explanatory. It's rounder with a full chin and cheeks. While round faces have their own charm, some hairstyles can make you appear even rounder. So avoid these styles that might not be the best fit because you need to add an angular effect to your face. First off, leave behind short fades and cuts because these can emphasize with the width of your face. Also, stay away from slick backs. This style can make your face appear wider and shorter. I'm sorry guys, but waves and short curls are just not for you. These can add volume to the sides of your face, making it appear rounder. You also need to avoid curved hairlines because it'll just accentuate your round face. Instead, go for a square hairline. Now, let me tell you what would look good on your face. Long hairstyles that frame the face and cut down the roundness, such as dreadlocks. These can add height to your look and make your face appear longer. You can also go for box wicks and twists. These can create the illusion of a longer face by adding vertical lines and give you some angular dimension. Heart. For the heart shape, this is where your forehead is wider than your jawline and your chin is pointed. When the bottom of your face is kind of narrow and pointed, you should widen it by growing a fluffy beard and reducing volume at the top. This means go for short curls, locks, or long braids. diamond. Last one is the diamond face shape. This one is a bit unique. It's narrow at the forehead and chin with wider cheekbones. For this face shape, you should try to widen your jaw by adding volume to the sides of your head. This means any hairstyles with some texture like a full afro, locks, and even a nice taper would look good. Add some fluff to your head. Square. For a square face shape, think of a strong jawline and a broad forehead. Basically, all your features will be the same in width and your jawline will be absolutely chiseled. Square and diamond face shapes are already very similar, so the same hairstyles will work for both. By that, I mean afros and locks. Rinse and repeat. Texture. When it comes to texture, black men have an entire spectrum of range, so it's important to consider your hair texture. Some styles just look better on certain textures. For example, dreadlocks are a classic look that works best on coarse hair. The thicker, rougher texture of coarse hair helps those dreads lock together and stay in place. Waves are another popular yet high maintenance style, and they can look great on a variety of textures. But if you've got medium to coarse hair with natural wave or curl, you're already halfway there. That texture has more body and hold, so those waves are gonna pop. Waves don't really hold well on fine hair. You also have to consider shrinkage. If you're trying to grow out your hair, be realistic about the timeline. Your hair will grow, but it'll shrink a lot, so keep that in mind and don't be disappointed when you can't reach your ideal length. Shrinkage and your growth rate will also determine how many times you need to get a haircut. I'm someone who has a moderate growth rate with little shrinkage, so I need a cut about every 3 to 4 months. I could go longer, but I like to keep everything trimmed. Maintenance tips. Okay, so what happens once you've gotten the hairstyle you wanted? You probably feel good and look good as well, but you need to know that black hair is a lot of work, and for good reason. If you're a student or someone with a low maintenance lifestyle, avoid getting dreadlocks, high tops, a box cut, or anything that needs lots of touch-ups. If your dreads or locks start to get frizzy and loose, you need a touch-up. And if your hairline starts to grow out and look wonky, you need a touch-up. Life will get in the way, but if you look out for your hair, it'll tell you when you need to visit your barber. One last thing you need to maintain is your hairline. Us black men take pride in our crisp hairlines, so make sure yours is always clean and proper because it will enhance your features and even sculpt your face, giving you that high fashion model look. Find a good barber. One of the biggest problems for me was finding a good barber. Sometimes you don't have the guts to tell your guy that he completely messed up your hair, so you go home quietly with a bad haircut. I was over that, so instead, I looked for good barbers on Instagram and TikTok. Usually barbers post their customers and their fresh cuts on their socials all the time. This will give you an idea of what their look looks like, and you can even use one of their clients' pictures as a reference. If you're still confused about what to get, try asking your barber or just go through Pinterest to see what sort of stuff you would like on yourself. But brother, be realistic. That's all for hair care and cuts. You can always experiment and dye your hair to expand your horizon, but you can only do that when you understand the baseline of your ideal cut. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get your weekly dose of guidance. It helps me reach more people like you. And guys, if you have any questions or video requests, comment down below. I'm building a community here, so let me help you out. And remember, with each video you watch and every action you take, you bring yourself closer to the version you've always imagined to be.